Somewhere beyond the edge of our solar system, farther than any spacecraft has ever traveled, Voyager 2 continues its journey into the unknown. For decades, it has floated through the darkness, quietly transmitting streams of data back to Earth. But recently, it sent something no one expected. Not numbers. Not magnetic readings. Not radiation levels. This time, Voyager 2 sent an image. And what that image revealed has left the scientific world speechless. It wasn't noise. It wasn't a blur of interstellar static or a misfiring sensor. It was structured, mathematically, precisely, and persistently. The image displayed something symmetrical, deliberate, and completely out of place. Too perfect to be an accident. Too ordered to be a product of natural cosmic processes. The image defied everything we thought we knew about the void between the stars. It depicted something that shouldn't exist. Something that seemed to be watching. How did a machine built in the 1970s, with technology older than the internet itself, end up capturing what could be the most important image in human history? A probe launched to explore planets is now uncovering secrets we may not be ready to face. Scientists are asking, was Voyager 2 followed? Did it cross into a region where the laws of physics change? Or has it stumbled upon something waiting to be found, something ancient, aware, and possibly intelligent? This wasn't a random signal. This wasn't a sensor malfunction. This was something else entirely. A message hidden in patterns. A signature encoded in geometry. A response that we didn't expect, and one we may never truly understand. When Voyager 2 left Earth in 1977, it carried with it a golden disk. A time capsule engraved with the sounds of Earth. Greetings in dozens of languages, music from different cultures, the hum of nature, the cry of a baby, and a mother's kiss. It was humanity's most hopeful gesture, a message to the stars. An invitation to anyone or anything that might find it. For decades, it seemed that message had gone unanswered. But nearly 50 years later, something has changed. Voyager 2, drifting farther than any human-made object in history, has returned with something that seems like a reply. The image it transmitted shouldn't have been possible. Its imaging systems weren't supposed to function at this distance. Its cameras were degraded. Its data streams slowed. And yet, somehow, the probe returned an image so clear, so structured, that it demanded immediate attention. When quantum AI systems analyzed the image, they uncovered patterns, repeating ratios, prime numbers, Fibonacci sequences, woven into the shape of the anomaly. Not visible to the human eye, but unmistakable when enhanced through advanced algorithms. It wasn't a planet. It wasn't a cloud of gas. It wasn't even a star. The object, if we can call it that, appeared fixed in relation to the spacecraft. It didn't drift with the cosmic current. It seemed to follow. As Voyager moved, the structure remained. It hovered, silently, steadily, as if it were observing. NASA ruled out hardware failure almost immediately. The image didn't come from just one camera. It was detected across multiple sensors, using different wavelengths at separate intervals. And in every frame, the structure was there. Consistent. Geometric. Perfect. Then came something even more unsettling. The structure appeared to react. When Voyager's sensors actively scanned the region, the anomaly changed slightly, its edges shifted, its symmetry altered by imperceptible degrees. It was as if the object knew it was being watched. This behavior echoes one of the most mysterious principles in quantum mechanics, the observer effect. But this wasn't a particle. It wasn't microscopic. This was kilometers wide. How can a structure that large respond to being observed, unless it's aware? To understand what Voyager might have encountered, we have to rethink what lies at the edge of our solar system. The boundary Voyager crossed years ago is called the heliopause. It's where the solar wind from our sun is finally overwhelmed by the interstellar medium. But some physicists believe this boundary isn't just a line, it's a phase transition. A region where the very fabric of space may behave differently, where classical physics begins to blur into quantum uncertainty. In that region, reality itself may shift. The object Voyager captured fits no known model. It reflects no light, yet absorbs specific frequencies. It casts no shadow but disrupts surrounding magnetic fields. It is invisible to most sensors, yet persistent in the data. Some scientists have theorized that it might not even be part of our dimension. It could be a projection, a higher dimensional object intersecting with our own. In simpler terms, a shadow cast by something that exists in another universe. And now, that shadow is following a machine we launched before we had cell phones. Before we knew what a black hole looked like. Before the internet. The patterns in the image match the mathematics etched into Voyager's golden disk. Prime numbers. Spirals, ratios, frequencies. A language we believed was universal. We sent it out as a gesture of peace. A beacon of identity. Now, we are seeing that same language mirrored back at us. Not similar, identical. The implications are staggering. This isn't just a structure in space. It's a construct made of information. A message we were never meant to miss, but only meant to see when we were ready. The public was told it was a glitch. A distorted data packet. An anomaly not worth attention. But leaked internal reports paint a different picture. Emails between NASA scientists described non-random intelligence indicators. New encryption protocols were suddenly implemented. Voyager's data streams were rerouted, decoded only inside private quantum computing labs. One systems engineer, speaking anonymously, compared the internal reaction to a Cold War alert. Not because of fear of attack, but fear of contact. Because if this was a reply, it meant the conversation had already begun. And we can't take it back. Within days, a quiet rift formed in the scientific community. Some tried to explain the anomaly as a product of cosmic lensing or an unknown interstellar formation. But others, those familiar with quantum field theory and artificial intelligence, weren't convinced. Several research papers appeared on preprint servers, only to vanish within hours. These papers suggested that the data matched predictions for artificially manipulated fields, structures designed not by natural forces, but by intention. One physicist described the image as a glyph, something between a symbol and a command. Not just a picture, but an instruction set. A visual code. And then came the most radical idea of all. What if this wasn't an object? What if it was a reflection? Not metaphorically, a literal distortion in space. A mirror. Something dormant that became active only when observed at the right moment, from the right distance with the right technology. What if Voyager didn't just discover something, but triggered it? Because shortly after the anomaly was scanned, Voyager's magnetometers, long past their expected lifespan, began registering time pulses. Not noise, not random interference. But regular intervals. A repeating signal. And once again, the intervals matched the Fibonacci sequence. The same pattern used in the image. The same pattern on the golden record. The same sequence that appears in nature, in spiral galaxies, in DNA, in flowers, and in storms. This was not a natural pulse. It was a pattern. A broadcast. A beacon. And it had been activated. We've spent decades searching the stars for signs of intelligent life, listening for radio waves, scanning exoplanets, decoding the spectra of distant atmospheres. But what Voyager 2 may have discovered is something far more advanced. A civilization or intelligence that doesn't just send signals through space, but manipulates space itself. It doesn't speak in language. It speaks in mathematics. And it waited. Until we were capable of listening. There is now a growing belief among some physicists and information theorists that Voyager may have entered a region of space where information is stored and communicated through structure, through resonance and pattern, rather than sound. That what we call space may not be empty at all, but encoded. And the moment our probe breached the edge, it was noticed. For almost 50 years, Voyager 2 has carried the hopes and dreams of a species reaching for the stars. We launched it with optimism, with curiosity, and perhaps with a bit of naive belief that we were alone. But we may not be. And now, we may have finally received an answer. The final image Voyager 2 captured is more than data. It is a rupture. A break in the silence. A moment when something looked back. Not a star. Not a comet. Not gas, dust, or plasma. But something else. Something that waits. Something that watches. Something that understands. We once believed we were sending our message into the void. But Voyager's last transmission suggests the void was never empty. It was waiting. And now, with a single image, captured by a dying probe drifting between the stars, that silence has been broken. If this shook your understanding of space, time, and our place in the universe, don't walk away quietly. Follow Discovery at 2.0, where we explore the mysteries others overlook. Share this story with someone who still believes space is empty. And ask yourself, was this a reply? Or was it a test?